How are ya? We noticed years ago that there was a problem, and the problem was in the gut. And there was a problem that nobody wanted to talk about it, because when you think about it, when you are talking about prostate cancer, you're talking a sex-related part of the body. So we know that sex sells. When you're talking about breast cancer, you're talking about a sex-related part of the body. So when you are talking about colon cancer, what are you talking about? Something that is smelly. Something that don't talk about those things. You know that people are dying by the thousands because of colon cancer. But don't talk about it because it doesn't sell. It doesn't sell, is it? Now, you are coming for this hour to the presentation entitled The Cabinet Maker. So I wanted to actually give you enough on the title and not giving you enough on the title so you have no idea what I'm going to talk about. I need to tell you this first. The Gut Connection seminars are designed to share valuable information with the general public. They are not to be used as a treatment for individual cases. Consult with your health professional. You know why I have to tell you this? Because if something happens to you and you call a lawyer, I'm not ready to pay for your holidays in Brazil or the Caribbean. What you will hear me say to you will be things such as, well, if I was you, or if I was in your situation. Why? Because I cannot actually prescribe, I can just share information with you, but the good thing is everybody is able to vote here, which means that the government of Australia is telling you that you have enough common sense to vote for your next president. So you will also have enough common sense to see if the information presented will apply to you and in which degree will apply. That the gut is anything from the mouth down. In other words, what? The intestinal tract. Everything that after you have put in your mouth goes through. So that means it includes the stomach, the intestines, the large intestine, etc. Okay? So when we're talking about the gut, we're talking about a very vital organ here, or very vital system. Have you heard of the expression, I have a gut feeling? That is an old expression, isn't it? I just feel it in my gut. And we will be talking about diet, we will be talking about lifestyle, we will be talking about physiology. But I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes it's not what you eat, but what is eating you. And stress and the issues of life can be the worst gut enemy. Okay? And we will be talking about that. What is actually eating you? Now, if you are over 50, don't raise your hands. If you are over 50, you probably have received from the Australian government a letter. It is not a happy birthday letter. It's a letter that says you are now over 50, you are at high risk of bowel cancer. So the government is actually promoting an early screening system in which you actually go there and they check on you to see if you have developed any kind of tumor on your gut at the age of 50. Why do you think they're doing that? Well, it's called early screening. See, that is, I heard here, to prevent. I actually thought originally that was the case. Let's go to prevent cancer. Is that what they're doing? No. They're not preventing cancer. What are they doing? They're just detecting cancer earlier. So in other words, instead of having a tumor this big, just get a tumor smaller so actually it will be less damage. That makes sense, right? Let me tell you a story. There was a cliff near a town, and the view from that cliff was beautiful. But you know what happened? Many people will get too close to the edge of the cliff, and they will actually fall. And the drop was a few meters down, so by the time they crashed down the bottom, broken bones, broken body, and many people obviously died of it. So the government of that place decided to do something. They were going to invest thousands of dollars on a system that will manage to bring those that landed on the ground. They will grab them up very quickly with a paramedic system and of ambulances and so forth. Will take them very, very quickly to hospital. And hopefully, if they were quick enough, they will save lives. Does that make sense? No. They actually call it early screening. They had people right at the bottom looking to see who was going to land. And the moment the person hit head first, they will quickly call the ambulance on an early screening process, and the ambulance will go there, pick up the patient, take it to the hospital, to the emergency room, and they try to put the pieces together. It cost thousands of dollars. Do you know what an old peasant in town decided to do?
Put a fence up.
He just put a fence at the top. He just went to Bunnings, some chicken wire, and fenced it off. Fairly cheap, isn't it? What am I saying here? Early screening is not that. Early screening is prevent. So when you're 50, you use that letter, you'll read that letter and say, well, it really doesn't apply to me because I am taking measures. I am actually fencing off the edge of the cliff. True? Does that make more sense? Yes. Do you think it will be cheaper for the government? I want you to imagine 2 apples. Green apples, are you picturing the 2 apples? Green apples, beautiful, organic, biodynamic, no wax on them. Okay, beautiful apples. You get 1 apple and you store up that apple in an environment that is fresh temperature, right humidity, and is very clean, like a cold room or a fridge or whatever. Okay, you get the other apple, biodynamic, organic apple, and you get that apple and you place it inside your compost bin. Do you know what a compost bin is? Okay, that's where all the scraps from the table go. You put that apple inside the compost bin, you leave it there. 2 days after, you go to that fridge. 2 days after, you go to that fridge, you open that fridge, how is that apple? How does it look like? Beautiful. Still beautiful, still appetizing, still, I'm going to grab it, I'm going to eat it. True? You go to this side here. You open the compost bin, you have to do like this because all the fruit flies are all over. How is that apple? It's all rotten. So can you explain to me something? If I'm eating that apple and my system is like a compost bin, what is that apple doing to me? Is adding more compost. There are 4 primary waste removal units in the body, okay? The first one is the skin, which is an organ, by the way. This is made out of cells, okay? Epithelium cells are all around your body. So it's an organ, okay? And it expels a lot of toxins. The other one is the lungs, okay? The other one is the kidneys. Which one do you think is the 4th one? The colon. The bowel. Now, what happens if you have 4 trucks that needs to remove waste from a building site, and you have the 4 trucks they parked in front of the building site, and one of them has the 4 tires flat? What happens? You can't use that truck. How are you going to remove all that thing from the building site? You need to use what? The other 3 trucks to do extra work, true? Because one of the trucks is out of service. What is that going to do to the other 3 trucks? Extra load. So the skin is the first symptom of toxemia or toxicity in your body. Okay, the skin is just being overtaxed. It's that truck that is being overtaxed because something else is not working. And sometimes it's not the fact that we go very regularly and very often to the bathroom. Sometimes it's what is the food doing inside my gut? Is it feeding me and it's going to feed my cells, or is it actually destroying my health? Now look what the United States of America is. Is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now you will think the inventors of McDonald's, should not give any trademarks here. The inventors of fast food should actually be number 1, isn't it? It's like we as Australians should say, well, let them pay for it, you know. They invented that fast food, you know, let them pay for it. They're on number 9. How can you explain that? Well, one of the things that I can think of is that, remember that Americans are dying of heart attack. So they die before the colon cancer has been developed. Now, we have here my home country, number 5, Spain, number 6, France, and number 8, Italy. Those 3 countries have something in common. Who knows what it is? Mediterranean diet. Friends, is there something wrong with the Mediterranean diet? I come from Spain. You talk to any Spaniard and said, like in Spain, you don't eat anywhere else. And I will say now to the Spaniards, like in Spain, you don't die like anywhere else. Because they suffer from colon cancer and gut issues in an amazing rate. And they're all Mediterranean diets. Now, the colon needs, what does the colon need? Water, what else? Stimulation, proper stimulation, and exercise in order to do its work properly. So it needs water, it needs proper stimulation. Where does the colon get proper stimulation from? No, that's exercise. But where does it get proper stimulation? From your diet. And the other thing is, of course, is exercise. Why do you think exercise? Why do you think that when I'm walking or going up the hill, what is happening here? Is moving, is actually contracting my core muscles, is stimulating and helping the movement of waste through my transverse colon further. Is actually breaking up particles of food into smaller pieces. Also, exercise is. It's oxygenating, is doing wonderful things that will help the movement. Now, this column on the right belongs to a lady. Let's say it was not a lady, it was actually a male. And I want you to look at the rectum. The rectum is that area there right towards the end. Can you see how it's all inflamed here? Okay. Let's say it's a male. And that rectum is inflamed. It's inflamed that is called actually rectum constipation. That's when the rectum swallows up because you've been holding it, okay, and you got used to it. Now, notice that region there where the rectum is on the diagram on the left when it says prostate. Can you see it? Yeah. Actually, the nervous system is connected to the prostate. Now, you have the rectum and you have the prostate right next to it. And now the rectum is full of toxins. What do you think the prostate is getting from the neighbor? Toxicity. You know what happens with the gland of the prostate? It gets a lot of toxicity. It gets inflamed. The average Western colon has between 2 and 8 kilos of putrefying waste due to bad food combinations, refined starches, and sugars. Between how many kilos? 2 and 8. You want to lose weight? First thing, clean the colon. At least you dropped 2 already. You can drop up to 8. That's a lot of waste, don't you think? Yes. Up to 8 kilos. Yeah. And obviously, is sitting there doing nothing, of course. Is it? No. Is it sitting there doing nothing? Do you remember that I mentioned that your colon is full of blood vessels? Yeah. What are those blood vessels doing? Supposedly, they are meant to be reabsorbing certain things. Vitamin K, vitamin C, calcium, magnesium, your iron. So they're there reabsorbing. What are they reabsorbing, friends? People are fatigued today. And they had a gut connection since they were babies. I wonder about that quote from Hippocrates. all diseases start in the gut. Now, we're going to have a short break. And after you come back from the refreshment, we are going to introduce to you public enemy alpha. Okay, public enemy alpha. Just have a short break and we'll see you back in 10 minutes.